start it up, the link will
Okay.
be live in the subs, and then I can do that. I can handle the Twitter if you want me to do that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
so
give me 1
we're
second
live.
then, so I can do that.
Yeah, so we're live. I'll go on our page and see how this looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you got the links, you can send it to me too, and I can post it in the Discord.
Nice.
Nice.
You know what also
Wait.
is nice? Mama.
Nice.
Mama's really nice.
Yo, I got
she
some.
was so nice.
She's an angel.
It's
She
like
can do no wrong.
nice.
She is the nicest person I've ever seen in my life.
I have cool stuff on her voice actors because she does my Oh yeah, we got people.
My
watching.
Hero Academia.
No. my
Hime.
My Sakurajima from Bunny Girl.
oh my god.
My Valentine from.
Oh, I got the link. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna spam it.
Wow, you're gonna stop me from doing this really elaborate my joke?
I was like, go back to this. Go back to the
My
golden
sister,
Kamuy
my
joke.
writer.
Could you go back to the golden Kamuy joke?
Oh, well, hey, at least here, you know what they haven't done? Spoilers for whoever hasn't seen the first episode, but they did not mention what the Promised Neverland is in the first episode. So already this is gonna be like at max a 3 out of 10. It's like 3 citruses.
Are
Okay,
people actually watching this? Right now?
Like 5 people.
In the first chapter, either.
Okay, so I've now alerted our Discord. We'll
Nice.
say that they'll grow by like 2. Like everyone's like, guys, we're tired of your shit.
I know.
Guys, we're tired of this like shilling nonstop. We're tired of making a channel for it. I tried to contain our shilling in our Discord by making a channel out of the goodness of my heart.
And then the people didn't leave the channel when they hadn't even seen the episode.
Yeah, that's Nyx.
No.
Shout out to Nyx for being like, I haven't seen the episode, but I'm still in this.
I want to talk about it.
I appreciate Nyx. Yeah.
Well,
Cha.
about the title for wait, would it be spoilers to tell you if and or when the title?
Yes, that is a
Concept-
spoiler.
Yeah, this
That's a spoiler.
This is the hardest show I have ever been a source reader for.
Ooh.
Because there's just so much I want to talk about, I want to say, and then there's so much I see people talking about, and I want to chime in. But then it's like, I'm a source reader, and I can't because spoilers.
Yeah.
Though to be fair, I think it would be much harder on me if I was not a source reader to watch this show.
Yeah,
Really?
It's actually interesting. I've actually seen a lot of people like in the discussion thread on Reddit saying like people are like, oh, I have to read the manga, and I've actually seen a lot of manga readers saying you should actually probably just wait and watch the anime because it'll probably be better.
Interesting.
I'm like,
So-
why not do both? Because if it was me, and this was like my first time seeing it, I would probably be like, okay, BRB, I'm gonna go catch up on the manga. Because when I read the manga, I just picked it up. I was at work. I was like reading manga at work, and I got really into it to the point that when I left work, I like sat down right outside work and had to like get through like 30 or 40 chapters, and then I was finally like, okay, now I can go home and keep reading. But like I kept reading, but like it's not like I was like, oh, I could stop reading now. It's like, okay, now I can take a break to go home.
I love those types of shows because you're like, okay, I'll fit some time in for like breathing, eating, and sleeping into my reading schedule.
Right.
Yeah. That was me with Steins Gate. So I think this is like, I haven't felt that level of intensity since Steins Gate, which I put off studying for finals because I was just so into it.
So
not like I needed help with that part.
So for anyone who's just joining us, thank you for joining the live stream for the R Anime podcast. Sha, do you want to introduce all of us?
We got the Promised Neverland squad with me here.
Hey.
I'm Sha. I'm the face of the podcast right now, as in I'm like just literally the face. I am joined by the Fate Steel Taylor.
Shaw might be the face of the podcast, but I'm the fate of the podcast.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah.
That was predictable, but good. And then
Thank you.
right next to Fate, we have Jack, who is not showing her name, literally.
She's not showing your name.
Yeah, she's not showing your name.
I'm not showing your name.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a joke. I was gonna say I don't actually hate your name, and while I don't hate it, I'm not
Thanks
really
for
a
not
fan
hating my
either.
name. I appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you. And then we have Smurf. I don't have a pun, but maybe that's for the best.
My name is impossible to pun.
But I will find a way.
Last
If there's a
season was
will,
like
there's
the
a
best
way.
I could do.
Yeah. We will find a way. Don't worry. But in the meantime, we're here to talk about The Promised Neverland episode 1. As you guys might know, it aired today. This is really exciting. I've been, especially me, Jack, and Smurf, we have been like bombarding our Discord with messages about it. Like anytime there's a PV, they have like an image. We're like, oh my god, another image for The Promised Neverland. And anyone on our Twitter, I feel bad. First off, apologies for all the spam, but it's genuinely been one of the most exciting seasons so far, and one of the most exciting premieres I've had probably since Haikyuu season 3 back in 2000.
Yo, Haikyuu season 3
16.
premiere.
It was fall. Haikyuu was fall 2016.
Fall
fall
2016. So I've been like, this is the most hype I've been in like essentially 3 years. But
The most Haikyuu you've been?
Haikyuu I've been. So this
Wouldn't it be more like 2 years?
it's like 2.5. I'm not going to get into
It's like
technical.
2.25.
I'm not getting technical, but it's been a really hype time.
We should be
I know
technical.
let's just say if I was going to get harvested, I'd probably be at that like 6th age too. Just on that when it comes to math skill.
They just be like, okay, Shaw, immediately. But like, what, Shaw? What do you mean by harvest? This is a really.
This is a wholesome show.
This is a wholesome or wholesale.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You did that! You did that! Oh my god! That's actually good.
Thank you. It's you know like
it's free range.
Yes,
Oh
grass fed.
You guys like organic like how did well that actually is a thing, but like this is an organic podcast. Yeah, this is a cooking anime.
Yeah, this is a cooking anime, just like Shokugeki no Soma.
Yeah. Thank God it's on Nechi though. I don't want to get into that. I'm not doing that. We're not going down that path. Anyway, we were talking about this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, no. This keeps getting worse down this path we're going. I'm going back to the path of how we got into the show. I know that we have all had like minimal or at least up-to-date manga experience with it. I'll go with you, Jack. I think you read it before I did and were part of the reason I picked up on it. And we won't try and get too into the manga, but just more of like our anticipation for it.
Yeah, I want to say, I think I remember I read it the first one out of everyone here, because I remember when Smurf picked it up, because I remember him changing his profile picture to Emma. Yeah, and that was after I had kind of read it.
Yeah.
So I think I was the first one here to pick it up, but I wasn't into it from the start. I picked it up, I wanted like 80 chapters in, so I think a year-ish, less than a year ago. And I don't really remember why exactly I picked it up, because it was Shonen Jump, and I was like, okay, this is publishing, I want to read that, because Shonen Jump is cool, and I like the idea of like reading everything that publishes from Shonen Jump in a week, like the magazine, you know? But so I read it. I don't really remember what I was expecting from it, but yeah, once I got into it, I could not put it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had no idea. When I heard about it, I just heard like how good it was. I didn't hear anything about it until like right before I picked it up. I saw somebody talking about it's like, oh yeah, it's actually like demons. So it was like, and they're being harvested. Like the day before I picked it up, someone just posted that on the subreddit, and I was like, that's annoying, but yeah, whatever. But I expected it to be like, I didn't think it was gonna be an orphan. I thought it was gonna be like a whole village.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Just from the picture.
Yeah, like Neverland. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
So,
yeah, Fate actually has a bamboozle on you, Jack.
Yes.
Jack, really?
I have a bamboozle. In fact, there are very incredibly few people who have actually started reading Yakusok no Promised Neverland or Promised Neverland before me, because I too love reading Shonen Jump, but I also have this weird knack of like reading things like right when they start and then not continuing to read.
Okay.
Like Nisekoi, I read the one shot for it before it became serialized. Like same thing with Soma, Shokugeki no Soma, and like all these things. And then when the summer of 2016, I was like emailing back and forth with like my future roommates for that school year. We were talking about how we like Shonen Jump. And then they were like, hey, Tay, like, you like Shonen Jump? There's this new manga that just debuted its first chapter. And I think at that point, it had just supplanted. I think it was like either Bleach or something had just ended its run. So like there was a slot for Promised Neverland to fill. And they were like, hey, like, I think you'll really like this chapter. Just like, trust us. We're probably not going to talk too much about it because it's only one chapter in. I was like, okay. And so I started reading it. And that first chapter was what, like 40, 50, 60 pages?
I counted. It was
like-
55. It was 55.
There we
'Cause
go.
I read like the first 5 chapters again after I rewatched the episode again when I got
nice.
home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, jump chapters usually start. The first chapter is usually like 50.
Right, because it's like
Yeah.
a double issue.
40
usually.
to 60.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
But like I was just like so sucked in, and then for like the next couple of weeks, like the three of us just had like a group email that like started off with like, "Hey, by the way, I'm Taylor. I'm gonna be your new roommate for the new year." And then like, "Oh my god, this this manga is amazing." But I stopped reading it about 5-ish chapters in because I loved it so much, and I was like, "This is so good," and I had hope, you know, like I was young and unafraid, and I thought, and I dreamed a dream that this would get a faithful and a good adaptation. And I was like, you know, because like I had seen through Boku no Hero Academia that Shonen Jump manga properties weren't getting the One Piece Naruto treatment anymore, and they were getting like core length faithful adaptations of their shows that like really did the source materials justice.
Mhm.
So I was like, this is really good. And there was just something about the suspense and the horror of the first couple of episodes where I was like,
Mhm.
I just want to experience this firsthand. And I was like, this is so good that I feel like it's probably gonna get a manga announcement pretty early on. But if it doesn't by like chapter 100, I'll catch up again.
Mhm.
And if the first episode or like the anime sucks and it's a terrible like Toei Piro like adaptation, I'll go back and I'll read the manga. But like this episode today really made me feel like I made the right decision in being lazy and not keeping up with the manga.
Yeah, I think it was a definite concern over like who would handle the anime. I think we were all kind of like, you know, especially at least for me last year, I was kind of disappointed with the way some of the manga adaptations were adapted. So
Mhm.
like I was on high alert. I was like, you know, I need to be on ready just in case they like completely butcher this. And I think I was waiting for this first episode because I knew that like if they nailed the first episode, we'd essentially be fine. Like they could go wrong later, but I knew that like the first impression was the strongest for this.
Oh yeah, I remember we were all talking, like you and I were talking about it. We agreed like however the demon scene reveal is done, that'll be if the
Mhm.
show is good or not.
Yeah.
Like that's the determining factor.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
pretty
man.
much it. And I think we all think it really delivered.
Oh
And
yeah, it did.
It more than delivered for
Thank
me.
God
Like,
those things weren't CG.
yeah,
Yeah, like
Oh,
after
God,
like
yeah.
the bear and golden
Golden
Kamuy or whatever,
Kamuy,
where it
yeah.
was like, oh, we wanted it to like feel like otherworldly because the art was like so good. I'm like, oh no, what
Oh,
if they
no.
do that with Promised Neverland and the demons? What if they try to do that exact same thing in the exact same way? And I was like, God,
my
please don't
God.
let it be CGI. Please
I
don't let it
wasn't
be
even
CGI.
thinking that. I wasn't even thinking like that negatively. I wasn't even like, oh my God, they could CGI it. Because I was just thinking like, what if it looks bad? What if they don't have good, like, what if the backgrounds look weird? What if the music is weird? I don't even know. Like, I wasn't even thinking in detail, how will they mess this up? I was just thinking like, you know, like more of a macro way. They're just going to butcher the whole thing. Like, they just won't even, like, they just won't even do it. And I think it was interesting with like, we get all the news, like we'd hear about the voice actors. We're like, okay, this is good. Then we'd hear the opening. We're like, no, what are they doing? Like, what is like?
Really? You don't like the opening?
I don't really like. I like
the
parts of the
development.
opening. The worst,
Yeah,
It
what
does
do you
not
think?
fit.
the worst
at
part
all.
is definitely the na. Like what the?
Okay,
I
It
like-
sounds so happy.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm of two minds because I think the song is like, at first I heard the song, I'm like, no, this ain't it, Chief. But then I saw the song with the visuals and I was like, you know what, this can be this is somewhat it, Chief. You know, like we're somewhat there. But I think it,
Yeah.
This
I
is
think
half
I
of
think
it,
it's
Chief.
good. I think it's good, but it could be better. But I do love the visuals of the opening a lot. I
Mhm,
think they're really perfect because a big thing that like we've all experienced is you can only show so much information about the Promised Neverland without like completely spoiling it and ruining the big reveal. You know,
Right.
like we've all had that. Like, how do we tell people it's not just a cute show without saying, oh, by the way, they're in a farm and they're getting harvested for demons, you know? oops, lol, that's the story. Like, how do we balance the two? And I think the opening does a good job of balancing the kind of like mysterious tension that goes on throughout the show with like the eeriness without being like, this is why it's eerie, this is why it's so creepy, this is what they're fighting for. And I think that's the most important thing it could do, and it did a good job with it.
The thing that, so first of all, with the OP, the thing that I was thinking was, I was like, one of my friends in college told me about Uberworld and how like they were her favorite band and whatnot, but they've consistently like underwhelmed me in anime OP since.
Yeah,
like the Aono Exorcist OP, the
I like the Blue Exorcist OP. That was when I heard that, I was like, that's awesome. And then when they were gonna do Boku no Hero, I was like, oh, that's awesome, I can't wait. And then it was just a huge, and then Odd Future was a letdown. So when I heard that it would be doing Promised Neverland, I was like, that's not even the right genre of show. Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, because they could do well for like action series, but this isn't really an action series. It's more of
it's a thriller.
It's a cute girl doing cute things series.
Right.
Exactly.
With
it's kind of funny.
With like very few cute girls and a lot more dudes.
They could that sometimes look like girls and sometimes androgynous looking children. But I like what you're saying.
Oh, but I was also gonna say, like, you bring up like the voice actors and all, but like once I saw the director attached to the show, I was like, okay, like this is in good hands, because to me, what really sold me early on about Promised Neverland and why I thought it was going to it was a surefire anime adaptation was how well it presented the world and like did show not tell without like overtly expositioning. And the director for Promised Neverland is Mamoru Kanbei, who I've really liked for a while, who got to start doing a lot of like Cardcaptor Sakura stuff, but is most well known for doing Elfen Lied, doing and Kimi to Boku and Sora no Woto.
Yeah.
And Sha, you know how much I love Sora no Woto.
I think it's a very comparable show. Yeah, I think it's good and it's like comparable. So you could say like, you did a good job with Sora no Woto, you can do a good job with this.
Right, like understanding like how to like withhold information to that actually helps world build.
Yeah.
And like Kimi to Boku did a really good job of like character interaction and like slice of life elements. So I feel like that's obviously the main draw of Promised Neverland is the slice of life, the literal slicing of lives.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not even a bad pun. Like, it's a good pun. It just makes me sad.
They don't really slice, do they?
That's true.
They do slice. They might slice. We don't know.
They eat the slices of
That's
life.
true.
Well, they have to slice. I'm not sure. I'm not watching these demons eat my kids. Like, these are my children. Do not objectify my kids
Mama.
Food. Oh my god. Yeah. So, oh my god. I just just protect the kids. Protect the children. But
the kids. Okay.
Protect the smiles.
I'm gonna admit, I never really felt attached to Connie. But then when she in the voices, it's like the cutest voice. Like that voice actress is my favorite cute little girl voice. Like legit little kid voice, you know? She's just so good at it. It's so cute. It makes me want to
pinch her cheeks.
Squeeze. Yes, but squeeze and destroy. So I but no, in a good way. No,
yeah, it's got Sakura.
Oh yeah, so just for everyone who doesn't know, if you've seen Gekkan Shoujo, what is it, Nozaki-kun?
Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, yes.
Yeah. If you've seen Nozaki-kun, she's Sakura. So anytime, if you like Sakura from Nozaki-kun,
you should watch.
Well, no, she just got slayed.
I remember when they announced the casting, I very rarely recognize some of the more the less known names, so I always check Mal to see what else I've seen from him. And I saw Connie, and I was like, oh, I wonder who plays Connie. I saw Sakura, and I was just like, oh no, I can't handle this.
But yeah, she does really good, cute little girl, little kid voices.
She's top tier protect voices. You want to protect her characters, and I think it did. It did come across well. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, she was also really good in my other slice of life anime, Gakko Gurashi, School Life.
Oh yeah,
and she was Kurumi. She was Kurumi.
The shovel girl, right?
Yeah, she was really cute in that. She was very adorable.
She was really good in that. I like Shovel.
If you like the slice of life aspects of Promised Neverland, you might want to check out Gakko Gurashi if you haven't yet.
Yeah, another interesting one.
I agree. Yes, I agree.
Another interesting one that has interesting appeal to it. That's all we will say, because you're on the Promised Neverland, so you know what that means.
Yes.
Yeah. So It's interesting, yeah. I think we saw the voice actors, and we knew that, like, yeah, we got this should be really cool. Speaking of the voice actors for the main three, we're starting with Emma. I don't actually have her actual name. I should look it up, like an actual host would.
I'm looking it up now.
It's Sumire Morohoshi is the voice actress.
So to me, mentally, I'm like, so that's Yachi from Haikyuu.
Yes.
Like that's I think
Hiko from Aikatsu.
She's also the little girl in Tokyo Ghoul, like the one that he befriends. Like, what's her name? Hinami.
Yeah. She also plays the most influential little girl in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as Nina Tucker.
Oh my god, why are they doing this?
Speaking of Nina, she was also Nina in Shingeki no Bahamut Virgin Soul.
Oh my god.
She was also the true most influential character ever. One of the main girl in Handshakers.
Oh shit!
Oh, of course.
Wait, Maz, where's Maz? We need Maz for Handshakers.
I think Maz is at work, sleeping on Handshakers. And then for the other characters, we have the main three are Emma, Norman, and Ray. Moving on to Norman, he has Maya Uchida. And she's done. She's Rika from.
Yeah, she's Rika from Chunikoi.
Chunikoi, and then, but in a really really cute way. So she's Alika, and then of course. Maria Ise is Killua from Hunter x Hunter. So
that's like perfect casting right there.
So they have Killua and Alika in the main three. So this is like, we're not even in the actual show, and I want to protect these kids based on their voice actors and their performances in other roles.
Wait, is this the Hunter x Hunter podcast?
It is, yeah. Hunter x Hunter podcast too. Get hyped. I have a friend that's watching Hunter x Hunter right now, and so they watched Kakegurui season 2 episode 1 yesterday, and they were like, oh my god, I can totally hear Killua now in this girl's voice. And I'm like, yeah, now you know how the rest of us felt in season 1. And then they watched Promised Neverland this morning, and they were like, oh my god, I can hear Killua again.
Yeah, I've started hearing the voice actor for Rei. Like when I'm reading the new manga chapters, I like kind of hear the voice actress's voice for Rei even before the show started airing. So.
Well, I started the manga after they announced the voice cast, so Rei was always Killua to me. It was always Maria Ise.
Yeah, I remember when the anime was announced, but the voice actors and actresses hadn't yet. I was kind of like trying to put together like my dream list, and I was considering, and the only one that I was like certain of, I'm like Killua voice actress for Rei. I was like, that was like the only one I was like sure of that I wanted, and then I got it, and it was like nuts.
It's a great feeling to have that happen.
Yes, no, that was such a perfect casting.
Rei is a really interesting character. I think we'll see that like all of them are interesting characters. It's not as evident from the first episode, but
yeah, I've seen some complaints about it. How the main three just seem kind of boring and kind of bland. And I get it. They haven't really showcased anything in the first episode, so I can't really tell those people they're wrong because
don't want to spoil them.
They haven't gotten far enough yet. But I feel like they get better characterization as they go. But
just tell everyone that they're wrong always.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
And then you'll never be wrong. Everyone else will always be wrong.
Put them in that like weird spot where they're like, well, they seem kind of boring. It's like, well, you'll see that they're not. It's like, well, don't spoil me. It's like, well, sorry that I'm blessed with so much knowledge because I've read ahead. Might be.
Wait, Shaw, just don't brag about the fact that you didn't shoot the Shaw who could read.
Oh my god. No, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm not. We can't splash free one. The free podcast will happen someday. But
okay, that was free. I was like,
It's from the abridged series. We quote the abridged series more than the actual series, honestly. Like straight up.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's a good abridged series. But yeah, so another voice actress. I think this will be the last one on the voice actors, because I feel like we should maybe talk about the actual episode. But I think we were all sitting around thinking like, who would be perfect for Mama? Because they have to be really caring, but also really scary. They got to balance those, and it's really tough. And we couldn't really come up with someone. I think we were throwing names around.
We were throwing around like Sayaka Ohara was the name we threw around because she just voices the mom and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it like who's Morio Noto, or what is her name?
Mamiko Noto was one we threw out. We thought would have been good. I kind of threw out Sawashiro, but everybody else told me I was wrong. So
I
Well,
did tell you.
Tomoshiro didn't get back into voice acting until like recently, right? Because she just had a kid.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Well, she had it. She had a kid. She took maternity leave for the summer season and the fall season. I have no idea if she's back, but she isn't back in Kakegurui this season. So maybe she is back, but I'm not.
Who knows?
Really
I don't
sure.
know.
I
Or
don't
maybe
know.
she's taking a lesser load.
Yeah,
I haven't-
she might
maybe
be
that's-
taking on
maybe
more
it's that.
her roles.
And she was also seen on in Sword Art. So maybe she's just doing one role every like maybe she's just doing returning characters.
I mean,
for right now.
Shino has so many lines in Sword Art Alicization.
I mean,
Yeah,
she was
but
only
how
one.
can it balance the
Yeah, she
schedule?
was in
It's
one
so
episode,
difficult.
but she
Yeah.
still showed up.
Yeah. So then they announced that it was Yuko Kaida, who is a really lesser known voice actress, but she's one of my favorites because she voices my favorite Gintama character, Tsukiyo. So like the blonde chick I always post pictures of with the scars, that's her.
Oh, that one, the
Wait,
best girl TM.
Those are their
That's
scars.
girl TM. Yeah, she has scars. Yeah, I will post more pictures.
I
Jack.
thought
Do
she
not
just
worry.
had weird. I just thought she had weird eyebrows.
No, she has scars.
she
no, those
she
aren't
doesn't know how
eyebrows.
to do her own eyebrows. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
happens.
And she's also she is the MILF in Ballroom. I know no one remembers Ballroom, but it helps. But she's also
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, everyone remembers her.
I'll
And
stick
I
my
didn't-
neck out for that one.
I didn't even watch it, so I don't remember.
then I heard that Faye. I'm ignoring it because I have to move on. But then she's also Sei in Persona 5. She does the Japanese voice of.
Oh, right. Yeah, she's Sai Nijima.
Yeah, so she's great. I love her. She'll nail it. She's already nailed it this episode, and I'm glad with the casting. So on to the actual episode. Yeah, so they killed it. We all saw it.
They
and,
killed it, or they killed Connie. Like,
They killed Johnny and us. Oh my god. So
It
yeah,
killed me.
yeah. So I guess I'll ask Fate because he's like somewhat the most detached, even though he was here first. Like, what were your impressions when you saw it? Because it's been a few years. You're not like shilling it like I am for my Twitter, like bombarding everyone with all this shit. Like,
Right.
what did you think?
I mean, first of all, like I've never shilled anything in my life, especially
Ever.
not anime related. So I
That's
wouldn't know
true.
what it feels like to be so
It's a
passionate
unique
about it.
experience for you. You have to put
Yes.
yourself in our shoes.
Yes. So I don't understand why you would do that from a manga reading standpoint, but from an actual anime directing standpoint and an anime episode directing standpoint, the thing about not reading it for like, what is it, 2.5 years now, or like 2.25 years? But who's counting?
Me.
But so like from August 2016 to now, what's that like? So 2 years and a quarter,
like
yeah,
4
4 months, yeah. So
5 months, something like that.
2.333 years since
Sure.
I've read.
Literally a haiku break. The break
Yes.
in haiku from now. Yeah.
Yes. So I remembered like large things, right? Like I remembered Connie dying. I remembered the them like finding out because they went to find the bunny.
Mhm.
But I wasn't sure like how fast that happened, if
Yeah.
that was like 2 chapters long. And then like Connie shows up and I'm like, oh, she's gonna die.
She
She gonna
down.
die this episode. And they did such
Yeah,
a good job of like
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, go.
I was gonna say, yeah, the demon reveal happened like about halfway into the first chapter, so
Mhm.
happened pretty quickly.
Yeah. And I was just like, they like, even if I was like a little iffy about, is Connie the first one to die? Like they made it like so clear with like directing, just like she said things like, oh, like she raised like 7 different death flags.
I'll
yeah.
definitely write you.
With,
I'll
she's got,
write you for
I'll
sure.
write you guys every time. Like I'm gonna be a great mama who protects her children.
All
I'm like,
right.
man, if I didn't know you were going to die, like I would already know you're about to die.
They definitely made it like very obvious that like something was gonna happen. You could tell, like she was the
Mhm.
slowest cattle that was about to get taken out. You could
Because
tell.
like the directing, so because my roommates, current roommates and close friends have been going through like a horror movie binge, like I've been subjected to a lot of horror movies, and it like had all the like the marks of a good horror like set up when you're like not sure when the big bad thing is going to happen, like the quick cuts when like
Yeah.
people are talking.
Yeah,
Like-
I noticed that.
I noticed that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that
I
was
was
kind of
like-
weird.
I thought it made it feel like
Disjoint,
unsettling a little.
right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of like makes you like kind of like a little frustrated at it because you want to see their faces.
And then it just like kept cutting and just like kept leaving me in a lurch. And I feel like if I didn't know who the director was and I didn't know the source material, I'd be like, man, this guy's a hack.
Yeah,
Like,
you think he should? That's in my
I mean,
opinion up in here.
I
Uh-huh.
would say he is a hack, but that's just me.
ooh, spicy
He
takes.
will hopefully reform your opinion.
I think
He
he because the only thing I really know him from is Perfect Insider, which I thought was awful.
Oh,
so,
yeah,
Oh
that
no.
makes
Okay, let's. Perfect Insider never existed. I don't know what you're talking about.
So when they announced him for this, I was just like, oh god. Everyone else is like, oh, okay, cool. He's the Sora Nomoto guy, and I'm like, I never saw that. My only experience with him is like one of my 3 out of 10 shows. So
that's a citrus out of 10, fam. That's oh man,
but I am very
Mhm.
so far episode 1 very pleased with what he's been doing. It's very
Yeah.
good. My favorite shot that he managed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not really familiar with anime staff all that well. I don't know how much the director's involved in what shots happen,
Mhm.
but
very involved, especially if they're like
When-
the storyboarder as well. Right, yeah.
yeah, when there was the shot of Connie in the jar and then Emma and Norman's
Oh,
faces
yeah.
on each
Oh, that
side,
was a good
Mhm.
one.
I was
Screenshot of
like,
that.
this is amazing. I'm like,
Yeah.
That was-
this is good. This is
And the
good.
line was the subtitles that read during that part were it was like, these are some of the best produce that we sell only to rich people. So they
Right.
chose the lines that they said during that really important scene like really well. They're like,
Mhm.
yeah, they made it like they're both alive. She's in the tub of water, whatever. She's in the tub, and they're saying like they are produce. They're only sold to the highest bidder. So like they got a message across really well in just one screenshot, and you
Mhm.
could almost like use that screenshot to kind of illustrate like this is the point of the show. Like this
Right.
is it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My favorite smash like cut from him was actually the smash cut at the end when they're like
Oh,
it's like
oh,
Emma,
that's your
Ray, and they're like all sitting around. They're like, yeah, like we're gonna get out here. It's gonna be like a game attack, and like you don't even get a second to breathe, and it smashes to Mama with like
Yep.
the glass,
Yeah, and
like,
it's so silent, right?
and it
'Cause it
goes-
was
and
like
that's-
nice music. Like they finally
Bam.
started using the
God.
soundtrack.
uh-huh.
Like
Did
the
you
rest of
guys-
the episode was pretty quiet, then at the end they finally start using the soundtrack. Then it cuts to Mama, and it's
and
silent.
she's like holding the bunny,
it's-
and
yeah.
oh, that was
and
so
it's not animated even; it's just a still.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that was more unsettling, I think,
Uh-huh.
than it would have been with any sort of animation.
That
Yeah.
I think was like I loved. Like, I mean, I think we all loved it when that happened. I was even looking through the thread, and most of the comments were like, "That shot at the end was amazing." Like,
Yeah.
so many people thought that was so good.
Did you guys notice that the song that they played right before they showed that like Mama shot was the song that she was humming while walking Connie?
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
really? I didn't even
Yeah.
notice that.
So
That's
I
awesome.
rewatched the episode, not on my phone because Crunchyroll betrayed today. I'm a bit salty about it. Whatever. I got home and I watched the episode, and then like I was paying attention to it, and then I was like, wait a minute, yeah, she's humming that wholesome sounding song, and I was like, oof, that just makes it even more oof.
Ever
Oh, yeah.
since actually Tamako Market, I've like paid attention, and like Kara no Kyokai, I've paid attention to when characters hum songs,
Yeah.
because they usually come up later.
It's like
Mhm.
always important.
Oh,
You
I
characters
didn't
don't just
expect it
randomly
to
hum.
be- I didn't expect it to be like in the same episode, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely noticed that. That was a really nice touch.
It was
Great too, like visually, like the
Yeah.
entire episode. I thought.
Yeah, because I saw some
was a treat.
complaints about the I saw a few complaints. They're like very minimal overall. I saw some complaints for the background art, which
Mhm.
I can understand, but I did think that was going to be a challenge, but I don't think we've really seen the full scope of the background used, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to, judge it just based on this episode because I think they did fine. And I saw complaints for the character designs because they thought their faces were a bit squished.
But they're cute like that.
Yeah, I think that's also like how they're made in the manga, so it's not really an anime
Right.
problem. It's
Right.
like this is how they look in the manga. They made it look like that in the anime. It's an aesthetic thing. You either like it or you don't. So I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I've-
that's not a yeah.
I've unfortunately seen some people before it aired. I've seen some people like when they showed off some of the character designs, people were commenting like, "Oh, I don't really like the faces," or "I don't really like the whatever." And I mean, some of them did look weird. Like Emma in like the first visual they put out, her face looked really weird. Like she was like pouting.
Yeah, she was
With
like
the weird-
her face was
it
kind of
was like-
screwed up.
it was like
I
a
think
really
she was
weird
supposed
face.
to look determined,
Yeah.
But
I
like
think Norman was
her-
the most like could have been hit or miss. Yeah,
And
I think
I
it's
saw some people in
tough.
the comments like, "Oh, I don't like the character designs," and then just manga readers just like jumping down their throats, like, "What do you mean you don't? They're so good though. How do you not like them?"
I saw manga readers not like.
It's like,
I saw manga readers not like it, which was kind of weird because I'm like, what have you been reading, fam? Like, we've been here the whole time.
Yeah, like when I went back and read the first chapter, I was pretty surprised by how much the art for the series had improved over time,
Mhm.
which is a nice way of saying that the art was
Not good.
kind of like, well, no, it wasn't not good, but it was definitely a step down from the work 2 years later, where she's the illustrator or for the story has been able to practice drawing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
this was their debut work, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, yeah, it is a team of an author and an illustrator, I believe.
the illustrator, I think, might have had one other work, but I think it's the author's debut.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's where I heard it was
Yeah,
debut.
so this is like a teamwork that this isn't uncommon. Like we've seen this before with Death Note and Bakuman, who had the same tag team.
All sorts of stuff. Shokugeki, Dr.
Yeah.
Stone.
Yeah, so this is like a common thing, which I'm kind of cool with. I like the division of labor in this.
Mhm.
But I kind of brought up Death Note because a lot of people, Jack, you said this, and I think it's kind of cool to mention, like, we're not talking about too much in the future, but someone asked, like, is this show like Shinsekai Yori? And you were
Yeah,
like,
they were like, I got Shinsekai Yori vibes, and this is how it's like, oh, this is the new Shinsekai Yori. And I was like, not really.
This
not
ain't it,
really.
Chief.
this is,
Yeah, pretty much.
This
but-
is good. So
ooh.
So
Adam.
so the first episode might have had kind of Shinsekai Yori vibes, but it's not. The show hasn't really shown its hand yet. I think in what the show is. Like it's not like if you liked this episode, you're gonna be disappointed in more. But
Not really.
yeah.
Yeah, not a case of like we're saying like this is good and Shinsekai Yori is bad. I mean, Fate's saying that, but like we're not saying it's not like that for the sake of like one is good and one is bad, but more of like this might not be. If you're expecting Shinsekai Yori, you might not get the same experience. But more of
And
that.
I tried to sell it to some of my friends based on like what it actually is. Like I didn't I never mentioned the demons or anything. I just kind of mentioned like I basically just said they live in an orphanage, they discover a dark secret, and then they try to escape.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I explained it to some friends. And it's kind of like the escape is like it's like Death Note like. It's like they're trying to trick somebody and that person's trying to like discover them. It's
Cat
kind of
and
like
mouse games, it's like mind games, where it's like yeah.
And I think that's pretty much what I was gonna say because I told Smurf I think when I was like, yo Smurf, read this. It's kind of like Death Note, and I felt really proud of that comparison because then it turned out that Oda said that this is like comparable to Death Note in like some kind of recent thing where like Oda promotes like upcoming manga and stuff. So I felt like Oda for a hot sec, and I was so confident in this comparison because of Oda.
I thought
Like me when I try to compare Kimetsu no Yaiba to Hunter x Hunter.
I feel that vibe. We can get it. Yeah.
Shaw, isn't your name Oda King 807?
Am I the Pirate King?
I think you're the pirate. Oh my god, we cracked code.
Am I the Pirate King? What? Let's go.
I think the best way to actually sell this anime and like the best comparison I feel is by actually drawing on not Death Note but a different Shonen Jump anime or manga that I think Shaw you I think you might recognize where this reference comes from, but it's from there's an episode title called So in the second season of Prison Break they're already broken out of prison, but the name works once you realize that society is a prison. So I feel like
I love Psyche.
I love JoJo, my favorite anime of all time.
Yes. So I feel like Gintama is the anime you should really be comparing this to. Similarly lighthearted comedy stuff.
I was laughing the entire episode.
The faces in Gintama are scrunched up, and just like Promised Neverland, it all makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just need a demon to be voiced by Tsukida, and everything will be fine.
We just need everyone to be voiced by Tsukida, and it'll be fine.
We will all be fine. Yeah, I mean that would be actually kind of cool if they did that. He would be a good demon. I'd be down with that.
Oh shit! Yeah.
There's a future character that I think Tsukida could play, but I'm not going to talk about that.
That is for another time because we will not be the promise.
We're not talking about manga.
Promise spoiler land.
No promise spoiler land. Yeah, I think
the promise non-spoiler land is
promise really never spoiler land.
Yeah. So
okay, that doesn't work. Spoiler Neverland. That works better.
Ooh,
Spoilers.
Neverland.
Spoilers,
I like
Spoilers
that.
Neverland.
Nice. So as the only one who hasn't read the manga in years on this panel, I will also say I don't really remember what comes afterwards.
I didn't either till I reread, so it's okay.
I remember key moments, but I don't remember like the small things in between. So I'm really excited to see all those again.
I do remember. Yeah, I remember some specific things that will be cool to see because there's some. It's one of the cool things I think is tough. That is kind of tough with mysteries and thrillers in general. Is it's always about like how are you going to keep the momentum going? How are you going to keep the suspense, but also not completely rely on just cliffhangers and like shocking scenes here and there. And I think one of the cool things that makes this series stand out amongst all the other thriller manga out there is they do a great job of building the tension, at least in this. In this first arc, they always have interesting things coming up. So if you're one of the people who are like, this was a good first episode, but I don't know if it'll maintain it, do not worry. We're in for a good ride for these next 11 episodes.
I have a question for you guys. And this comes directly from the chat. And remember, if you guys see on Twitter or join our Discord to join us for the live streams, you can interact with us in chat. We've always got an eye on that. But this comes from Tony Chen, who says, is it me or did the pacing feel very fast? I haven't read the manga, so I don't know, but it felt kind of rushed. What
I can
Murph,
kind of agree.
Okay.
I did feel like it was. I don't feel like it was too fast, but I did feel like it was a little fast.
I do feel like it was like kind of awkward as they jumped between a few scenes. Like 1 minute they're playing tag, the next minute they're in the house, the next minute Connie's gone. It was really quick, but I don't think I think the pacing was fast, but I don't think it was detrimental to the overall quality of what they had to convey. If that makes sense. But it was fast.
I actually kind of thought that the pacing... Okay, so on the one hand, they only covered one chapter, 55 pages pretty much.
Which is still more than most shonen cover in an episode.
Yeah, I mean, it took Boku no Hero Academia 2 episodes to cover one chapter.
No, they did one. They did the first chapter in one episode, but they usually do 2 chapters per episode, so they usually do about 40 pages.
So, and then when I read the manga again, I noticed they had expanded a lot of scenes, And so I was kind of like, on the one hand, I'm a little worried about maybe what that might mean for pacing for the future, so I kind of had wanted it to go a little faster, but on the other hand, it wouldn't really work to go faster necessarily because the chapter ended at the
perfect spot
where it had to. But and then at the same time also, while I was a little worried about that, it never felt slow to watch. I was totally engaged the whole time with the pacing. So the pacing wasn't necessarily... I don't think the pacing was bad for the first episode. I'm a little worried about what that might mean for pacing of the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Because they had to hit that scene.
Yeah, I know.
Episode.
And then rereading the next chapters, I'm like, the next 5 chapters, I'm like, okay, they could do like 2 chapters in the next episode, but like, wait, but what if they like, that's too little. They need to like do more.
So
we should do the Yamada-kun. And
I'm not sure how much of a spoiler it is to say how long the arc is. So I don't really...
Let's just keep it vague.
So we'll say it's roughly 40 chapters. So they said they basically say they're going to adapt the whole first arc in the season, which they have to. I mean, they can't end it before the end of the arc. I don't think.
That would
never say never.
Awful.
I mean, they can, but I mean, like they really should.
One of the first pieces of information that came out were like the chapter they ended at, and all the manga readers were like, "Okay, we know what's coming." Like everyone was like, "Oh, is it going to be 2 core? No, we do it with 1 core. Is it going to be season 2? We don't know, but we know we know what we're getting into with this."
Yeah, so we know what the 12 episodes are going to cover. So if 12 episodes are covering roughly 40 chapters, they have to pick up the pace even a little bit from this.
Yeah, and it makes sense, right? Because like I feel like most Shonen Jump properties take around 40 chapters to cover the first arc. Like Naruto, the first arc, took around roughly 40 chapters. My Hero Academia is a little more fluid because
it was about 21.
Yeah, but, and then Bleach, like there's so like the arcs are so long. that it's hard to tell. But like Death Note as well, it's like hard to define the specific arcs in Death Note.
Dr. Stone's first arc was like 55 chapters or something.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
really
kind of
long.
like
Assassin Classroom's first arc was around like 30ish chapters. But yeah, so like I think it makes sense, and I think for a single season, it makes sense that it would be like 40 chapters. Like doing a first arc makes sense. And
Oh yeah,
so the one
definitely.
question I do have, because I didn't look this up actually, which I probably should have, but I'm not the host, Sha. But I saw this is on the Noitamina block, and
is.
Noitamina usually is 11 episodes. It's like recently been like up to 13 sometimes.
not always.
Right.
Banana Fish was 24 with a double length
with two
last
core.
episode.
Right.
Yeah.
But like it's traditionally been known as like 11 episodes.
Yeah, like
Ame Agari I think was
like-
12 or 13 episodes as well, and it was Noitamina.
yeah, like Battery I think was 11, and
Yeah. I
Ping
think
Pong was
Wonderful
11.
Psychopaths both
man.
Psychopaths
Was
both
22.
cores were
Yeah.
yeah, so each core
It's
was 11.
usually 11, 12, or 2 core.
If your question is it definitely 12 episodes? I did see confirmation that it was 12
Yes.
episodes.
Okay, I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure it
Yeah.
wasn't 11.
I'm pretty
episodes.
sure it's 12.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's confirmed 12.
Yeah, I saw it on a
was-
tweet.
I was
don't
hoping
know
for
if-
13, but I
Yeah, me too. I was hoping for 13. That would just give a little bit of breathing room, kind of
Yeah.
pacing.
But I do think it's I do think it's confirmed 12 episodes. Yeah, I just found a tweet. I found it on the Promised Neverland sub. Well, yeah, I found it. Definitely 12 episodes.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I
Man,
was just a little worried because it said Noitamina at the beginning, which I always liked. Like I like that Noitamina insert that they
the
always
intro
do.
is so much fun. I love it.
I get so happy every time I see it.
I know, and
and-
then I watch Promised Neverland, I
and you're
get
like,
even
oh.
happier.
I get so happy. It's still with Jack saying shit like, I want to destroy Connie in like a wholesome
No,
way.
I mean like
What?
it's like something's like so cute. You just want to like squeeze it
And destroy
Yeah.
it, crush it.
because you want to
Murder
squeeze it
it.
hard. You kill it.
It's the
It's
Promised
like
you don't
Neverland
actually wanna
version
kill
of
it.
Pop It. It's
It's
like
like that
destroy
big-
it, crush
It's like
it.
that big thing from Looney Tunes. The thing
What?
was like supposed to be like Lenny from Of Mice and Men, where it's like I'm gonna squeeze it and hug it, and
Oh,
There's no one else?
yeah.
no,
Yeah,
am I,
no,
just,
no,
am I
no, I know,
old?
I
Am I
know,
showing
I know.
my age?
Yeah, no, I get it. I got you, fam.
Oh,
Uh,
out before we forget, because there's a lot of like details I noted. I actually took notes again. But a lot of the things I noted I could not really say because it's like foreshadowing. So I like that they
Right.
did foreshadowing for future things.
I noticed
But
a lot
what-
of foreshadowing that I obviously didn't pick up on when I first read it, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And I don't know, I saw a lot of people in the comments like, is that original? Because a lot of people are like, I don't remember that from the manga at all. Is that original? And
Yeah.
I can't.
I
I
think.
mean,
Sorry,
Oh,
because
no,
with
no, go
the,
for
the
it. I was
manga, when I reread it, there wasn't a lot of room for a lot of the subtler things that the anime did that was foreshadowing.
okay, so some
Like-
of it was original.
I
I
think, like,
wouldn't call it original as much as just kind of using the medium and
Yeah, like
expanding
showing,
on it.
Okay,
showing them,
okay.
like what they never showed Norman with the clock behind him, but they showed that to show like time passing.
Yeah, I really like that. That was really
love
cool.
that.
Yeah.
One of the things that we noted, as much as we're like, mostly me, has been like, Connie, no, like dying, death, sad. I love how they portrayed just how shocking she looked, because as Jack noted, like we saw it in the manga and we saw how detailed it was and how spooky it was. But like, just like you, Jack, I was like, oh, right, when bodies are dead, they change colors and they look even worse. So I think
Yeah, because like in the manga, it's all just white and black and
Yeah.
tones. But I was like, oh, yikes, she looks scary dead. Like I kind of understood a little better. Because I mean, obviously, I mean, dead
mean,
bodies
it's-
are freaky, but it was
uh-huh.
like, oh
Until
yeah,
then, it
no
was
wonder
hard to
she freaks
understand.
out.
And the
Yeah.
and the flower coming out of her was like twice the size it was in the manga, so
yeah,
it's
it's
kind of
interesting.
unwatchable, honestly.
Contrast her so well because the flower is bright red and then she's pale white because she's dead.
Yeah,
There's
Oh,
a lot of interesting
did
flower
you
imagery.
notice in the opening about they had the flower in the opening, like it's white and then it turns red? Oh,
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
cool. I noticed that on a rewatch. I was like, whoa.
ending they have like the flower is like like Emma's standing on top of the flowers and then at the bottom it's entwined and like
Yeah, I
chest
noticed that.
a lot of cool like foreshadowing that's not really spoilerish but just
it's
like
gonna
nice.
be it's gonna be fun. I think even like for anime onlys, like after it's all over,
Mhm.
to really look through the OP and ED and see, because it's kind of doing what I mean. I think good OPs do this where like similar like some JoJo OPs do it, where they really foreshadow things, but if you haven't seen it, you don't have no idea what to look out for.
Like when people are like, "Oh, the JoJo OPs spoiled the show," it's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't spoil it until you know what to look for.
Well, except for the first opening.
Except for the first OP, which is literally just the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
I also wanted to note, this is really important. So they show all the cast members talking, and they show Phil is like the cute little kid who's tan and has the bright blue eyes. Everyone wants a cool thing, like they want to go on a date, they want to go out. Phil wants to ride on a train.
Yeah.
So we have confirmation that Fate is actually Phil.
Phil Taylor.
And Phil wants to ride on a train. So Fate, how does it feel to be the 5-year-old in The Promised Neverland?
It actually felt great. I actually, as soon as that happened, I was like, man, this is a happy show, right? Because someone wants to be on a train, and like, it can't be a sad, scary world where trains exist or where people know about trains.
Like, he didn't cry for Connie. He didn't feel bad, but once he realized that Phil might not get to ride on a train, that's when he's like, yo, this got me.
I was like, yo, like if this kid doesn't get to, like, if as long as he gets to ride a train before age 11, right? Like maybe they create a train like on the farm so that like he can ride a train around, and then like if he gets, you know, chop like at the age of 12, but at least he'll get to ride a train. And then if they create the train and tracks, like other people will be able to ride the train as well, and so it'll be pretty nice. But yeah, so I was just like, it was like, cause like until then, you know, everything about it felt very unrealistic. But then the kid said he wanted to ride a train, and then I was like, yes, this is grounded in realism now.
Oh my god, no, I can't believe you said chop. I can't with you guys being so frivolous with these children deaths. I cannot hang. But and you did yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say another interesting detail that you guys noticed. Shaw and Jack you guys were talking earlier, like a couple hours ago, and you guys were trying to figure out the meaning of the episode title, which was
I noticed that.
12-10-45, and we were like, what is it? Is it someone's like, is it someone's code, or
can
what
I
is it?
say?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm excited. But if you notice, there were several calendar shots that had the calendar, and it was the year 2045, October 12th. So that's the date. The date of Connie's harvesting day, shipping day, I think they call it. But so that's the date. So it'll be cool. I wonder what they'll do for the next title. I hope it's something kind of cool I can decode and it's not obvious, because decoding things is fun, man. It was like I felt like so like, whoa, brain flash.
I figured it was like probably a date, because I remembered it being set in 2045.
Yeah. I thought it was Connie's code. It was not. I checked, and then I was like, "What is this?"
Because codes are usually 4 digits, right?
No,
they're like 5 or 6.
You know, the ID number on their necks. That's what I thought it was, and then it was not. In fact,
that's what I thought it was too. Until
I was on the wiki, just going through a bunch of different characters. I was like, "Is it this person's code? No, is it this person's code? No, it's this person's." Whose code is this?
The real reason why we didn't understand the code is because we're non-Europeans, and we put the month first and then the date instead of the date first and then the month. And you know, we could just
to be fair, the author isn't European either.
Right. But like, yeah, it's literally everyone outside of the US, I believe,
is wrong.
And system of dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense.
You make sense.
Ooh. Got him. Well,
you know what else makes sense?
Yeah.
Promised Neverland being like, I'm actually surprised that Promised Neverland isn't a weekend show, to be honest.
Like, is it airing not prime time, but like?
Well, I mean, it's
airing at 12:55 a.m.
It's the Noitamina slot. It's the Noitamina slot, the late night slot. So I was actually surprised, because I figured that this being A1 Pictures Aniplex, this being Shonen Jump, that they'd want to try to get it on a weekend slot so more people could see it.
My guess is the slot itself is advertisement enough.
Yeah, that might be true.
Being at Noitamina, that's a good point.
It's cool to note that the manga is doing like very well, especially like I think
it's insane.
It's not like One Piece level sales, but it's doing really
Nothing
well.
is.
I mean, yeah, nothing is One Piece.
Nothing
It's like
One Piece level
if
sales.
you were to like randomly pick like the Shonen Jump table of contents, whatever, it's like it would be like One Piece, Promised Neverland, something else. Like that's usually what it feels like. It's right at the front of the magazine,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
it's
I think
doing really well.
It's a cool it's a cool thing in like Shonen Jump right now where we have like a lot of up and coming manga that are kind of untraditional from the normal battle shonen format. And I think this is like the first one that we have like Dr. Stone and but is it just Yaiba? I just call it Yaiba. Like
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah.
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
those coming out later this year. So we got a lot of cool like Shonen Jump stuff coming out this year.
It's-
But
The
It's kind of-
resurgence of Shonen Jump.
It's kind of funny that you call it, that you refer to Promised Neverland as an up and coming manga when it's in its
Oh, yeah.
final arc.
oh yeah, it's in its
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
good news for a lot of people who heard our Death Note comparison earlier and were like, "Ooh, but is it gonna have the Death Note problems?" I don't think it will because they are in their final arc. They seem really conscious of like,
Yeah.
we want to end the story before it gets dragged out too much, and
think-
they could drag it out more.
Well, that's
I
what
think-
the Death Note team did too. They
Yeah.
were like, "This is the end, and that's that." Like,
Yeah.
And then they were like, wait, no, we can't do that. Our editors are telling us we have to do more. So
Time to make money.
think
well,
it
no, I
helps
mean,
that
I mean
maybe-
that's, people didn't like the end of Death Note, but I think that was the end.
oh,
They
I
wa-
meant
because
the middle end that they wanted to make the end and then they had to keep going.
I think. Well, I mean, in Bakuman kind of shows it's like an exaggerated version of the creation of Death
Right,
Note.
right,
And
right.
In Bakuman, they say like, "This is the end, and that's that." Like,
Right.
we're not going
and
any
then-
further.
I
Right.
have some theories on that, but that's probably for another time.
That's for a different this is
that would
not
be
the
an
Shonen
interesting
Jump
podcast.
podcast.
Yeah, I will be hyped for that podcast because I do have things to say on that. But at least for the Promised Neverland, it's in its final arc now. Fingers crossed this means we'll get more anime if it sells well because I want to see the rest of it animated. I think it's some cool stuff. But sticking for this season, it was a good first episode, and I think we're looking forward to the rest of it. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to say?
I
I had
yeah.
one more thing I wanted to say about the final arc, and that who knows how long that is. Look at Gintama. Look how long Gintama's been in its final arc.
That's a weird
Yeah.
case.
Bleach has also been in it, like was in its final
Maki-
arc for like 2
Maki
years.
Magi was in a final arc for like 3 years, so who knows what Neverland could be in a final arc for the next. Like, it could outlast One Piece for all we know.
More final arc.
Fingers crossed not. But yeah.
I also want to say about Neverland is that it probably helps that like because wasn't Death Note like the middle end? It was only like 50 chapters. It seems like Promised Neverland had been kind of planned. It had with more content,
hmm
so that way they don't need to like push out more for the sake of more sales. Because
Well, you never know. Naruto also had a like pre Shippuden. That's when Kishimoto wanted to end it.
One Piece
Oh,
was supposed to
really?
be a 5-year series.
hmm
huh?
So yeah, before
Crazy.
isn't it like before the time skip, like 2 months real time in One Piece had passed? It's kind of crazy, and like in actual
Yeah.
like real life human time, like 10 years had passed of it
Oh my
publishing.
god.
So, someone pointed out to me for the Dressrosa arc in One Piece how the arc itself takes place over 3 days, and the anime is so long that it would take you 3 days to watch. So you could watch the entire arc in real time.
Oh my god.
But in any case, about Promised Neverland, I'm really excited. I think anyone who like if you've watched episode 1, and you're thinking about reading the manga or not, I think that Jack and maybe the rest of you guys would also back me. Shaw probably not, because Shaw, I feel like you see an anime you like and you immediately go to the manga, you read.
Oh,
the
that's
entire
me.
thing.
I'm that one.
Jack
It's
is
like-
an extreme version of myself.
Space Brothers. I was impatient with how slow the anime was going, so I read the manga, and then I ended up dropping the anime. So I'm with Shaw on this one.
I do a
If
thing
you're-
where yeah.
If you're excited about this and you if you think that waiting a week is harming your experience because you just want to know what happens and you're so anxious about it or whatever, and you're so into it, then read the manga. Go for it. The anime will still be good. You can do that. But yeah.
Yeah.
If you can wait and you want to, then sure, wait. If you can stand the wait.
Live your life. Do whatever you want. You'll have fun. I'd say.
Yeah, I think you'll have a good experience regardless of the path you take.
And like as you like can tell from our panel, like we're split on that too, because like I think that's perfectly valid. Probably not for me, but that's why I've been doing this for 2 years.
I think it's
I
fine.
don't-
I think it should be fine. People should be fine if they wait. It'll be
I
fun.
personally don't like to pick up manga during the anime's run. I usually wait till the end of the season and then jump into it.
Yeah.
Shonen
right
jump into it.
Shonen Jump into it. That's like all my manga is Shonen Jump. That's all I read basically.
I say, hopefully everyone listening in has enjoyed it. Thank you guys for listening to us. I think thank you guys for like actually listening to us shill about this. I feel bad that I've constantly been shilling it, but if you guys are interested in more shilling, let us know. We can do more episodes on this. But in the meantime, check us out here on YouTube. Check us out in the usual spots. We'll be coming out with the winter introspective in a couple weeks, and we're going to be talking.
That'll be a fun episode. I think it'll be fun to hear the opinions of people that haven't read the manga.
Yeah, Winter Impressions is coming soon.
I assume people that haven't read the manga are going to be on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think one, honestly. Literally one everyone read the manga for this. Yeah. It feels bad though.
Yeah, Winter Impressions coming soon. If you guys like the live stream format, please let us know in comments too, especially after this episode comes up. This is going to be on Simplecast. It's going to be on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter at Tokyo Podfathers. We mentioned the Discord. That's where we do a lot of the announcements. There's a link in the description for that to join. You can join there. We're always there. We're always all up and about. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. We're also on Reddit. So in case you forgot about that.
In case you forgot we're on our anime. In case you forgot this icon.
I know.
We're on Reddit a lot. Yeah. So check us out. Reach out to us. And thank you for listening. And hopefully you enjoyed The Promised Neverland as much as we do. We'll see you next time around. Thanks so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeet.
Bye.